Hello, Dave Williams here. I'm a lawyer in Carson City, Nevada. To give you 8 tips for better jury voir dire with the help of John T. Matthews Jr., who put this together initially. There's no shortage of opinion among trial lawyers about the best ways to pick a jury. Almost everyone has plenty of new ideas and a war story to go with each one of them. I don't presume that I have the most informed or best view, but I do have strong beliefs about what does and doesn't work for me. In sharing 8 of them with you, I hope I can help you develop your own successful approach to this important opening round of the modern jury trial. Now, the older style of jury selection, in that style, the lawyer tried to argue the case with the jury. The modern style is more open-ended and less specific as to the facts and the law in the case. But you can still gain valuable information from the prospective jury members. Number 1, leave each prospective juror feeling good about answering your questions. The principal risk you face when you conduct voir dire is the opposite of what you're trying to accomplish. When you ask prospective jurors to answer questions in front of a judge and other prospective jurors and everybody else in the courtroom, you run the risk of having them take an immediate dislike to you if you cause them to have an unpleasant feeling in any way. Many people are afraid of public speaking and would never voluntarily take center stage for anything. Here, you're introducing yourself to these folks by making them do something they dread: answer tough questions in public. There's grave danger here for the unwary. What does it do to delve deeply with incisive questions that may please your jury consultant while gratuitously alienating your prospective juror? Is it really important to ask about the former occupation of the prospective juror's spouse when you know from the jury questionnaire that he or she is currently unemployed? If it's going to embarrass someone, don't ask it. Make the jury questionnaire ask about hobbies and other personal interests. Introduce yourself to the jurors by getting them to talk about things they enjoy, things they do well, and things that interest them. The church choir. How long have you been singing? Do you play any musical instruments? Help them look good in front of everyone in the courtroom with your questions. I guarantee you will learn more about what these folks are like if you get them talking than you'll ever get by giving them penetrating questions that embarrass them or make them want to clam up. Not only that, they will think you may be all right after all, even though you are a lawyer with a lot of nosy questions. Number 2, never talk down to any prospective juror. Assuming a tone of moral or intellectual superiority is the surest way to meet swift death for a trial lawyer addressing a jury at any point in a trial. Doing it during voir dire is downright suicidal. The questions you should ask should, in all instances, be deferential and easy. I know this is contrary to what many good trial lawyers say you should do, but I recommend against asking prospective jurors to promise you anything during voir dire. They may think you have no right to ask for any such thing. They may think you're trying to trick them or that you are somehow asserting some type of superiority over them. After all, they are not asking you to promise anything. Does it matter all that much how prospective jurors answer questions such as, "If I prove my case to you, will you find for my client?" Of course they will. Is there really any serious doubt here? I do not believe jurors will react well to questions like, "Will you promise me and my client that you will be fair?" What are you telling them when you ask a question like that? That you don't trust them unless they promise you something? This is dangerous territory. Some folks may think you're talking down to them. Tip number 3, beware of the evil eye. In every conversation between 2 people where eye contact is made, one of the 2 participants will look away first. Be that person during voir dire. Do not try to look a juror in the eye to learn or otherwise accomplish any point in a trial, let alone during voir dire. Avoid any type of prolonged eye contact by being the first to look away. The evil eye is a perverse and negative phenomenon as experienced by jurors who believe that trial lawyers, or their clients, or both, are staring at them for no good reason. It happens when the lawyer is consistently the last to look away. The juror experiences the length of the eye contact as a full-blown stare from which the only escape is to be the first to look away. So that is exactly what the juror consistently does in return. Think about it. Show some common respect rather than engaging in a psychodrama you really do not understand. Number 4, use voir dire to get the jury to embrace your expert witness. If your case is going to involve expert testimony, then voir dire provides you with an opportunity to get the jury to ask you for expert help. For example, if your case is going to involve expert testimony about hydraulics, ask the prospective jurors, either individually or collectively, how many of them understand hydraulics. Then ask those whose hands are not raised, how many of them, if the case does involve hydraulics, would like to hear from an expert who could explain hydraulics to them in a way they could understand. Trust me, this works every time. When you call your hydraulics expert to the witness stand, you will simply be making good on what they asked you to do. Tip number 5, crossword puzzles are revealing. I always try to ask prospective jurors if they like working crossword puzzles. An affirmative answer to this simple question contains a treasure trove of useful information. People who like crossword puzzles are reasonable to highly literate. Those jurors are good readers. They usually have strong vocabularies. If your case involves documents, they will read them and understand them. They are usually persistent and industrious. There is something about crossword puzzle workers that I find desirable, and I like to have those people on my juries. Number 6, victims or individualists. If there's one character trait I try my hardest to identify during voir dire, it is whether a prospective juror falls on the side of the victim or the individualist side of the line. I believe can roughly be drawn down the middle of our modern society. On one side of the line, there are many people who feel they do not control their own destinies. Things are always happening to them. Powerful interests determine the course of history. Bad people are responsible for most of what goes on and goes wrong in life. These are the victims. On the other side of the line, there are many people who jealously guard the ability to choose and control their own lives. They're constantly striving to transcend what they regard as purely temporal, social, and economic constraints. They believe they can make an important difference in the lives of themselves and in others. They're slow to find fault for anyone else for the situations they find themselves in. These are the individualists. I believe every case has an optimal receptive audience comprised of either victims or individualists. Well in advance of the trial, my trial team and I will decide on what we believe is the optimal composition of the jury for this case. I spend as much time as I can in voir dire asking easy, respectful questions until my team is satisfied we know on which side of the line each prospective juror sits or stands. It's this determination more than any other that ultimately guides our challenges. Tip number 7 for jury voir dire, break the ice for a large damages claim. If you're the plaintiff making a large damages claim, you know you're going to have to break the news to the jury at some time. You might as well do it during voir dire to avoid causing sticker shock later on when it's too late to do anything about it. Consider asking a general question like, if this case were to involve a claim for many millions of dollars, and if the plaintiff were to prove entitlement to the claim of this size, just based on the amount of money involved, would you have any personal reason not to make such an award? This is not so much a question as an icebreaker for your case. It also has the beneficial effect of allowing you to weed out prospective jurors who answer affirmatively or otherwise balk. If you're defending against a large damages claim, I'm sorry to tell you this technique does not work in reverse. Last but not least, number 8, don't ask silly questions just to please your jury consultant. Some jury consultants want to obtain data for quantification purposes, even though questions designed to get this data during voir dire can have unhappy side effects. For example, a trial lawyer defending an insurance company might ask prospective jurors to rank on a scale of 1 to 10 how much they trust their own insurance company, 10 being completely and 1 being not at all. Data from their answers can really help a jury consultant with his mathematical rating computations, but it can also activate the fuse on a time bomb. Most prospective jurors can figure out pretty fast why the lawyer defending the insurance company is asking questions like these, especially after those who reply with low numbers are challenged for cause. In any event, an exercise like this begins to take on the appearance of a transparent game to pack the jury in a biased manner. This is not good for the insurance company. Besides, why give the plaintiff an opportunity to end his case in closing argument with a line like, "We trusted them when we bought this insurance policy. Heck, we gave them a 10. Thank you. This is Dave Williams. I'm a Carson City trial lawyer.